left in them. This bed completely took out all of the tomatoes all the way down to this one plant at the bottom here, which looked the healthiest. It's still got a bit of blight, but it's still going and it's still growing, so I've left it in here for the moment. This bed I prepared this morning. There's going to be some radishes and some spring onions going in there. Also this morning I planted noodle beans down against the arch on both sides, so hoping that we'll have noodle beans growing over there. Down the middle we have ground cherries on either side. I did have melons planted here and here. The melons on that side pretty much gone. On this side they're still growing, they've still got flowers. Don't actually know if they're going to produce anything. I'm just watching the space. Potatoes again growing all the way along here with the odd runner bean. There was meant to be runner beans all the way along here, but I guess something got to them because I've only had the odd plant come up. On this side I still have some lettuce growing at the front, and I have a couple of tomato plants that I was determined to try and keep going with. And this bed this morning I've planted with radish and spring onions. That will see me a succession. So these two beds I've harvested from the boats. I've harvested garlic already from both of them. Then I've done the tomatoes, had to pull the tomatoes out, harvested a few green tomatoes. Now there are also peppers growing in there at the moment. I've gone with the radish and the spring onion in both of them. And when the radish come out, I'll then put the garlic in for next year. Coming up here, this is the first year I've done tomatillos. Oh, there's Perky over there. She's doing a bit of weeding for me. First year of doing tomatillos, so they seem to be doing very well. I have no idea what to expect, and I'm not quite sure when I need to harvest them, but they're coming along well. Beefsteak tomatoes all gone to blight. These over here are my blue tomatoes, and look at the nasturtiums doing their job with the caterpillars over here. In the middle here I've got yellow tomatoes. Oops, sorry, I've gone wonky. Yellow tomatoes there and chocolate cherries at the end. And I've got cucumbers going up the arches, but they're not going over the arches. Cucumbers just don't seem to like to climb. They much rather hang. But we've had some... That's an odd shaped one there. We've had some growing here. You can see in amongst the nasturtium, caterpillar covered nasturtium. We have, that one's ready to harvest, and more here. So I don't panic when I see the cucumbers. I don't panic when I see the caterpillars over here with the nasturtium, because they, generally speaking, fill themselves up with nasturtiums. This one, you can see the caterpillars have had a good old go at these nasturtium. They've completely devoured all of the nasturtiums here, which actually leaves it nice and easy for me to collect these seeds. And they haven't gone on to my cucumbers. My cucumbers are still growing. They don't touch the tomatoes. So basically they did their job, and I'm really happy with that. These are my courgette plants. So I've got them here and down on the other side, but the other side it's a bit like the corn. On this side they are going absolutely crazy. So growing really, really well. And over on this side, well, doesn't help, Perky's over here weeding for me. We've got them, and this end is doing well, but they are really, really struggling. So we might have a late harvest with these, but quite often over in this corner, I think it must be a damper corner over here, we do get a lot of slugs in this area. So I might have to have a think about what I'm going to plant here in future rather than waste all of this space for courgette plants that only produce a couple before they get eaten. So another glance at the courgette growing along here. I don't know if I've got any I can show you that are growing. Oh, there we go. There's one there. I think we've got, yeah, here's some crook-necked ones growing at the back here. There we go. So all in all, I shouldn't really be complaining about the blight-ridden tomatoes. That is all I've lost this year. I have gained an awful lot more potatoes than I've ever done before, more peas than I've ever done before, more carrots than I've ever done before. Corn is being successful for the first time. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it goes all the way to harvesting. Tomatillos that I've never grown before, ground cherries that I've never grown before, and the tomatillos seem to be blight resistant. They've not been touched at all. More peppers than I've ever grown before. Chilies I've never grown before, so that's an additional. Kept lettuce going longer than I've ever done before. I've grown more chard than I've ever done before. Even the brassicas, when they finally harvest at the end, they will be more than I've ever done before. I have probably at least tripled what I normally grow. I've not done as many root vegetables as I did last year, but I think the learning curve on that was that I really don't eat that many root vegetables. I got garlic harvested this year for the first time ever. I would say that this year has been pretty damn successful, or will be, hopefully, by the end of the year, if nothing else gets taken by anything. But we're kind of, the caterpillars are there at the moment. They've been there for a while, so they will be on their way out fairly soon. And hopefully, even though it threatened a bit of rain earlier on, hopefully we will get more sun now through the rest of the summer. We've had a very long wet winter, and we had a very long wet June and July, which caused the blight. So although I did more varieties of tomato than I've ever done before, and I was so looking forward to tasting all of those, and I was so looking forward to tasting the white tomatoes that I grew last year that were so delicious, and they've gone, possibly, may have one plant left. It's not a year for tomatoes, but it looks like it's a year for everything else. So I will be absolutely over the moon if these noodle beans could grow, because that will be something new for me as well. But we'll watch the space. Come back to us in August. It's July now. This is my July update on my garden. I didn't do the fruit bushes, but basically they produced a little bit, but I've moved them into an area that they really need more space. So I'm not expecting a huge amount from them. I put in a tiny little pond area. I'm trying to encourage. There we go. See, little pond area here, little water area. I'm trying to encourage some frogs into the garden to take care of the slugs for me, or toads. Toads only need water to breed in. They don't need water to live in, but frogs need the water to live in as well. But as yet, no frogs. So if anyone's watching this that lives locally, that has frogs, could you spare some? I would really like some. Yeah, let's just take a wonderful look at these leek flowers that are absolutely amazing. The bees love them. They are just gorgeous. I've been accused of having triffids in my garden, but they are, you don't see these things normally. You don't see how the vegetables go to seed. You don't see the beauty in that side, because we want to harvest them and we want to eat them before they get to that stage. So it's been nice to be able to see that some of them that were around left from last year that I didn't harvest, I could just leave and let them do their own thing. So oh, that's not the best view to end on, is it? But there we go. That is my garden for July 2020. So we'll see you again next month. Take care. Happy planting, happy growing, happy harvesting. And if you want to see more, please do subscribe and do press that bell, push that like button if you like this video. Hit the bell button if you want notifications to see more. And until next time, take care. Bye.